Well, I've told you, haven't I? Australians are cranky about migration. It doesn't matter where they are on the political spectrum. Greens are cranky, Libs are cranky, so too are Labor voters. In the latest Essential poll published by The Guardian, 68% of Australians now want foreign investment in property to stop. But almost two-thirds of voters say they want a cap on migration until we have sufficient affordable housing. The most damning result of the poll out today, though, may well be the fact that 58% of us believe the current housing system is bad for future generations of Australians. So I think everyone's now woken up to the Ponzi scheme that is big migration numbers. Not saying we don't want immigration, we do. Let's get all the building blocks in place for those already here before we open the floodgates. Joining me now to discuss this, media writer at The Australian, Sophie Elsworth, and John Roscombe, Senior Fellow at the IPA. Well, Sophie, Guardian, pretty left-leaning, but I made the poll. I have seen published polls and private polling. This is one issue, ever higher migration, that works right across the political spectrum. Now, you were a finance journalist before. Housing's a massive generational issue, isn't it?
Peter, it absolutely is, and it's something that generations now, probably more than ever, feel like and seem to be locked out of getting their foot on the property ladder. And the policies that have been in place to help first home buyers arguably are not the greatest in this country. So I think people really, especially young Australians, really feel like they can't get their toes on the ladder. But Peter, I must say, it does come back to good old-fashioned saving and really trying to tuck that money away and be realistic about what you want to buy. And I think sometimes younger Australians want to live in that ideal suburb that they simply can't afford. And they, have to make changes about realistically where they can buy into and then set out a plan of how to get there.
Does it surprise you, John, that, as I said, right across the political spectrum, people are saying, not right now, not at these levels, not till we get the basics right in terms of housing and infrastructure, but governments of all persuasion are not listening?
Well, they're not, Peter. And what's interesting about this poll in The Guardian is it's nearly exactly the same result as a poll commissioned by the Institute of Public Affairs. You've spoken about this, Peter. You've written about this. Politicians tell us the public want action on climate change, so they'll introduce climate change policies. The public want action on migration. They want it slowed until our infrastructure and our housing stock catches up. But they are not listening. It seems that Peter Dutton and Dan Tehan are starting to listen. And when you hear Albanese and Chalmers try and explain the massive growth and increase in migration over the next 2 or 3 years, they can't. They're walking away from it. And we've also seen in the last few days economists saying that this massive migration program will push down wages. Now, the Labor Party used to be in favour of higher wages. They say they are, but their migration policy is not doing that.